Morning, friends. Early morning, my favorite time of the day. I don't even have like makeup or anything on, even on camera. I don't care. We're just here to craft. We're here to make some trapper keepers. So fun. Let's get into this. So this is just a shout out to Sandy Trefker, who originally made this kind of tutorial. This is basically a folio, and then we added this curved spine here to kind of make it look like a trapper keeper. So don't be intimidated. This isn't as difficult. I'd say it's about an intermediate skill here. Okay? So of course my first one, we have some issues, right? Stuff's not centered. I'm not happy with where the layout of the Velcro was. But it's okay. We learn from that stuff. We move on, and here we go. So, mini trapper keepers. You're going to need that Velcro, because we need that Velcro. And again, real quick look through, we have pockets here. We have a charm, jump off page. It's just a laminated board you can add stuff to. This is a first folder. It has a pen holder, has pocket folders. Then we go in with just some papers. Go with the theme. This is strawberry shortcake. Another folder. All right. And then we come to the back with the clip. I put staples, stickers, papers, and another folder here. Okay? So stinking cute. Oh my god. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's see what we need. Put that puppy aside. Alright. Supply list. Let's just go over supplies. And if I feel like it, I'm going to go right into the first step. If not, I might just pause and we'll come back and we'll do these in a few parts. Most importantly, you're going to need some lightweight chipboard. Okay, this is not cereal box, folks. Cereal box would be just fine. I happen to have some lightweight chipboard, so I ended up using that. Cardstock. This will be the color that would be the outside of your book. So, I have a red one, a yellow one, a blue one, and now we're going to make a pink one. Okay? So, this is the foundation, lightweight chipboard, and cardstock. I'll get into what you need sizes in a minute, but this is all you need. Okay? You'll need some decorative paper if you want to decorate the outsides. Typically with the Trapper Keeper, each panel has another picture, right? So we have the front, the back, the inside. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. The spine, 5, 6. The flap, 7, 8. So at least 8 different pieces of extra kind of paper for the decoration part of it. You will definitely need hole puncher, scissors. It's early, y'all. Scissors, ruler. This is a 1/4 inch double-sided tape. I recommend using that. We'll need a screwdriver for mechanisms, bone scorer, mechanism. I got this on Amazon. It's 8 inches by like 1 inch. Clip. If you don't want to do a clip, there is a technique you could do with cardstock. I'll show you that later. And this is Velcro. We are going to glue this Velcro, so we don't need the self-adhesive. You can just get the sew-on. Self-adhesive does work, but we are going to glue it. You want a corner rounder, and I did purchase this for... You don't need it, though. Honestly, the first one I made, I didn't use this. I was so impatient. But then this came, and I did use it. This is a scorer. It's a cutter. It's got your an extra score tool down here too. Didn't need it, folks. Didn't need it, but I grabbed it anyways. And of course, you need some glue. Okay? Pencil helps for writing stuff down, but I think that's it. I really don't think we need much more than this. Your basics for making everything. But specifically, you need that hole puncher. You're going to need that. We're going to need that scoring tool and a long ruler. So if you don't have the scoring board, get a long ruler and a scoring tool. And this is how we're going to make that flexible spine. So this is important. Double-sided tape is important, specifically 1/4 inch. You don't want anything more than that. And I think that's everything. I'm trying to like rack my brain. Was there anything else? And so this is just what you need for the construction of the book. Of course, you know, as you get into wanting to decorate, you know, you're going to need like your decorative paper. And I used a laminator. I'm going to put this to the side. I used a laminator to laminate my folders. So you don't need to do that. That's just an extra step that I did. You don't need to go buy a laminator. You could take your stuff to a laminating store if you want like a Staples or FedEx or something. So again, don't go out spending $50 on something to make a book. Maybe you have a friend who has some of these things if you don't. But I think I can get into the first step here. Okay, so let's get into the size of chipboard we need and the size of paper. You need 2 6 1/4 by 8 1/4 pieces of cardstock, or not cardstock, chipboard, lightweight chipboard, or cereal box. All right, 2 6 by 8s, 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. Excuse me, 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. This is be the front and back panels. This is going to be your spine. This is 1.5 by 8 1/4, and this is going to be our flap. This is 2.5 by 8 1/4. And the reason we were a little more specific with these sizes, like I do think you can make this to any size you want. This size specifically will keep us within the range of being able to use this 12 by 12 papers to wrap the book. If you went bigger, you're going to have to find bigger paper to wrap with. And there's ways to make your paper bigger, and we're going to do that today, and I'll show you. But this specifically is a size that keeps us within a shelf cardstock that's readily available. Okay? So then what you're going to need is 2 pieces for wrapping your book. And these are both, this is a 10 1/4 by 11 1/4 sheet. And this is a 10 1/4 by 9. Okay? So this is it. This is all we need. 2 pieces of paper, 4 pieces of lightweight chipboard. Okay? One more time on your measurements. 2 8 1/4 by 6 1/4. Cut those down. This is going to be your flap. That's 2.5 by 8 1/4. 1.5 by 8 1/4. This is going to be your spine. 10 1/4 by 9. 10 1/4 by 11 1/4. Okay? So let me just show you what we're going to do here. So immediately what we're doing is we're going to combine these papers. We want them to be connected because what we really want is one long piece of paper. If you have that long piece of paper, please use it. This actually measures when it's put together. This is going to overlap 1/4 inch. But in the end, if you just had, this is 16, yeah, it's like almost 20 inches. So, I don't know, if you have a 20-inch piece of paper that's ready to go, then you don't need to do any of this. You could just go. Okay, starting off the bat, we're going to take this 2 pieces on the 10 1/4 sides, and we're going to tape them together with that double-sided tape. And because it's 1/4 inch for us, we don't need to do any measurements. We just need to lay it down on the edge. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just do that. Right on the edge. I think the thing with these journals specifically is you do have to be very precise with your movements. And that is difficult for me, right? Because I like to just cut stuff off and make mistakes and cover them up, and it's okay. Okay? This one, I learned to slow down. And you know what? It's fun. Get outside your comfort zone. Do something new. And in the end, I'm happy that I did because I really love this Trapper Keeper. Alright, so I'm going to cut off the extra that's not needed. Can y'all see that? And then I'm going to take my bone And I am going to, I feel like I'm blanking on the usage of this tool, the word of it. Bore down, I'm pressing down. And then I'm going to go and take off an edge here of this double-sided tape. Come on, fingernails, work this morning. Hardest part of this is messing with this tape, y'all. Just trying to get this tape up. I'm having a hard time. Oh my goodness gracious. We can't be failing right now. Not now. Y'all, I'm having a hard time getting this dang tape off. There we go. Okay, so we're just peeling off the top. See that? And what we're left is this quarter edge here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to overlap it. Right on it. Match it up perfectly. And what we've just done is made a longer piece of paper. And get it on there flat and good. See? One long piece of paper. And then I'm going to take my bone scorer and I'm going to score on this line really heavily. Just really want to push it down, make that connection. And it's okay if there's a seam because we're going to be covering that up anyways when we make the book. So don't get too upset or discouraged by that. But I am flipping this over, pressing down really hard, trying to get that seam to really adhere. Okay? Now, we are like literally almost there just for the cover. This was the hardest part. I swear, this is not nearly as crazy as you'll think. Now, again, Sandy in her original video is very technical. I'm not technical, so we're not going to get into measurements of all this, that, and the other. We're just going to start laying. I'm going to show you how we lay this. Okay? So what we're going to be laying are our two pieces down on the paper. We're going to put our spine in between those two with about 1/8 of an inch between them. And then, I don't know if you can see this. What we're doing is laying it onto this paper like this. All right, you really want about 1 inch from here, from your left-hand side for your first. You'll see we cut them bigger because we're going to be folding it over. So leave 1 inch here on this top, on the bottom, and to the left. So center your chipboard with that much space. And then your spine is going to come right next to it on the right with 1/8 of an inch spacing. You'll see that? Inch, chipboard, 1/8 of an inch, spine. Moving on down, chipboard. On the other side of the spine, about 1/8 of an inch spacing. And at this point, you'll see that we're laying over our seam. And then the last one is going to be the flap. And we're going to go all the way to the right side of our edge. And we're going to leave, let's see if I can, about 1/2 an inch here. Okay? So what we have is a gap in between here. And this is a good time to make sure all of your stuff is adding up in size. Like I'm actually looking and it looks like my spine and my flap are both about 1/4 of an inch too big. So I'm going to just cut that off right off the bat here. Perfect. Perfect. Just got a little bit extra here. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to reline everything up and I'm going to glue it down with fabric tack. Okay, it's okay if it bleeds through on the other side. We're covering it anyways. Okay. I've done 2 different glues on this. I'm going to tell you I have different opinions on both on which ones to use. So let's get into it. You know, I almost gonna pull out a new fabric tack because I'm down the bottom of that one, and I just can't stand being on the bottom of those things. It's too heavy. It's too much work to get it out. So I'm gonna start with a new fabric tack, and I'll save that little bit for something else. Okay, let's do it. So going right in. Remember, fabric, you know, leaves, you know, this is my bleed, so be careful as you put your glue on not to go right to the edge, because as you squeeze down or bore down, it will squeeze out the sides. So the less mess you have, the better it's going to be. All right, we're going down. Remember, inch from the top, inch from the side, inch from the bottom. We're starting on the left-hand side of the papers here. And then I'm going to come in and just bore it down with my, I don't know if that's the right word, y'all. Bore. I don't know. But I'm pushing it in with my thingy-dingy. Okay. All right. 1/8 of an inch spacing here. We're going to lay the spine. I got Peter Pan soundtrack this morning. All right, don't forget, leave that 1/8 of an inch space. This is our spine. Just going to show you where I'm at right now. So, we glued our 2 pieces of paper together. We're starting to lay our book down. Okay, got that? All right, here, 1/8 of an inch. Laying our next round of chipboard. I've decided, I think I love making these journal. I love making a journal. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Golden Book stuff's fun. The composition stuff's fun. You know, love taking any old original journal and making it your own is fun. But I think I really like constructing journals. Like creating something from nothing. Okay, so we've got this down. That's where we're at, y'all. That's the space we have left. Okay? This. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my corner punch. I'm going to take that round one, and I'm just cutting off the corner of 2 of them. See that? And this is going to be that rounded edge when we flip over. And the rounded edge is going to be facing the end of our paper. So, let me just show you. This one is going to come about an inch, half an inch off the side here, with the rounded edges facing the edge. Okay? Round, round, and about a half inch off. And what we're going to do is leave this space here in between. Okay? Let's get in with the fabric tack. Rounded edges facing the edge of our paper, leaving about a half an inch. And make sure you're really lined up with the other paper here. I'm actually even going to bring in my ruler to make sure that we're all matching. Okay. And I'm going to, whatever this is, press down hard with my bony thing. I don't think it's bone. I think this thing's plastic. Okay, so let me show you what I look like. If you're not matching this, you did something wrong. And that could be because I'm a horrible tutorial person. Okay? Left side, front, spine, back, spine, front, and then this is the flat. Okay? Now, this is scoring time. This is where we're going to just start scoring things left and right. This is going to help fold things over. This is going to help. Okay? So what I'm going to now do, I'm going to take my score, and I'm going to score around the edge of everything in here. So I'm going to just take this and run it right down it, making a score line in between, so when I fold, it's easy. And then same thing on the edges, around it, just right on the edge, I'm just scoring. So when I go to fold, it's easier. Score, score, just around the whole frickin' thing. Here I'm at the top, score, score. Okay, just scored it all. And then, see that? I'm just going to fold on those lines. And so we have the beginnings. See this? And so then let's go into, let's score here. So this is where you can use that scoreboard, and you can put this on the scoreboard. I'm going to show you how to do it without it, just in case you don't have that scoreboard. We're going to do it without it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this long ruler, and every 1/8 of an inch on this, I'm scoring. See that? Just make a line, and you might want to go over top of it. 1/8 of an inch. Score. I'm not measuring. I'm literally moving it over a little bit each time. So if you're technical and you want to be very specific, get a scoring board, or you could measure these spaces. I can't sit here for all that, y'all. No. Okay. So, and when I go back through, you can see kind of where you scored, and like, oh, this sign clearly needs quite a few more scores in it. It's too thick. It's about like a 1/2 inch. So you go back in, find those thicker, and score. Okay. And what we're doing is creating the curve in the book for the flap. You don't want to go through the paper. This is a scoring line just so that we can create a bend in the flap. So you don't want to be cutting through this. You don't want to be using a tool that's like tearing your paper as you're doing this. So if you can see, I don't know if you can even see the lines. Can you kind of see it in there? There's score lines on all of it. And this, let's bend, and we're gonna be scored right along the edge. Let's bend that. And we're gonna bend here. Don't bend where those score lines are. We want that to be curving, right? So we made those score lines. Let's just go in and just do a little bit of that. A little gently. Don't want to make a bend in them though, right? We're not trying to make a bend. We're trying to just... And if you feel like you need to go over some lines, go over some lines. But what we're trying to create is a curve here, okay? Let's get that. I'm just folding along the actual line here. so that we can accentuate the curved part here. So, trying to make you see that I think I'm going to score them just a little bit more. And I have, where's my other tool? I used a couple different scoring tools if you're feeling like this isn't getting a good, oh, let me just use the one on here. Can we see a little better now? Oh, there you go. You see all those lines? A little better. That's going to... See that? It's making a curved... This is what we're trying to make, is it curved in here. So you might need to do a little rolling with it, manipulating it just a little bit to give it the curve. Almost looks like corrugated cardboard. Just making a curve. This is probably the hardest part of this book, is just making sure that this part is done right. And again, put it through. If you have that tool, it actually is decent, but you don't need it. Okay? So then what we're going to end up having here is the beginning basics of our book. See that? Alright, next steps. We're going to be wrapping the insides with these here. So that involves, let me put a cap on my fabric tack. Alright, we really want to make sure you scored real good around the edges, because this is where we're going to start folding up. Alright, I'm just folding these down. I'm not attaching it, I'm just folding it up. Making lines, making sure everything fits in here, score it. See that? And then make sure we score on these lines in here too, okay? See that? Really want to score on those. Alright, all the way around. We're just making score lines and folding. Making sure everything is got somewhere to go. It's fitting well. Haven't made any boo-boos. Get in there and score real good. See? Not gluing anything down yet. Coming around the other side, just making sure those score lines are real good. Folding up. This one works better. I don't know. Whatever you are, bone thingy, plastic thingy, you suck. Okay, going in those lines again, our seam lines, good score on those. Alright, we're not gluing yet. We're just folding everything over. Okay. Alright. So now we're going to start gluing this puppy down. But first things, a few things before we do that. we want to take care of our edges first, our rounded edges and these corners. So on that square here, we're cutting that away. Just on the non-rounded side. All right, non-rounded side. This is our pointy side, rounded side. Not the rounded side. We are cutting out the 2 squares of the corner of the pointy side. And then what I'm going to do is taper it. I'm just going to cut on the littlest diagonal right on the edge so that it doesn't hang over. Literally cutting out the sliverest piece, just tapering the edge slightly. Okay, cut out. Now we're going to do these edges. Now these are a little more tricky because what we're trying to do is still keep that rounded edge. So what we're going to do is make some eyelashes. That's her word. That's Sandy's word. We're going to cut some slits. Let me show you. So right off the bat, I'm going to cut away some of this corner here. Let me just show you what I'm doing. I'm cutting in a rounded way. I'm taking that off. And what I'm leaving is just enough where I'm going to make little slits in here, just around the corner, so we can fold it over. Okay? Same here. I'm going to cut away this in a rounded way. Just kind of following the curve and just cutting out away that corner. Okay? See that? That was not a pretty cut. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to do it, is we're going to cut little slits right up into the edge. Don't cut the cardboard. We're cutting the paper right up to the edge of this cardboard, around the corner. And what we're doing is making a way to fold over this corner. If you sew, you know what this is. So when you sew a circle or a corner or a rounded edge, you cut into your fabric so that it lays flat. See that? And you want to cover the corner. So little slits all the way around. And I'm going to do that on the other side. Okay. And that's what we're going to do first, is we're going to glue these down first. So I'm going to take some fabric tack. I'm going to put it on the corner of the cardboard. And then I'm going to put it on the little slits. Okay. And then I'm going to just gently start folding these over the corner. And I'm letting it glue. And we're going to let that set. I need coffee. Need a sip. Does it look pretty? No. Doesn't matter. We're covering it. All right. So they're glued down. You might want to look on the other side. See, we're trying to keep the rounded edges. So just make sure that this is the rounded edge. Everything you're pushing over is fully at the corner. Okay. All right. Let's go work fast here. If you're working with a fast glue that dries fast, you just want to make sure that when you do these long edges, you work fast. Okay. Do I want to do... Yeah, I'm going to do the corners first and then the long pieces. So let's stay with this end here. And I'm going to real good glue along the seam where the paper and the chipboard connect. And I'm going to fold this puppy over. And we're going to seal it. Not as bad as y'all thought, huh? I know that this part is the easy part for me. I find the construction of the book easy. It's when I get into the finishing of the book that I'm like, I get to a point of no return where if I go any further, I could really mess it up. You know, so I get really, those smaller details in the end are hard for me. This seems really messy today. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so we just folded that side over and glued it. Let's get into this. Again, I really want to get glue onto that seam area here. And then we'll work up here. Glue all the way down, all the way down. And we will be covering up that seam that we scored. That will be folded up as well. Get in those score lines, in between those seams. Okay, so let's just see where we're at. We've wrapped the flap here. We've done the top edge here. Well, that was stupid because I should have done the other. I'm going to do this edge now. I should have done that second. I don't know why I didn't. It's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Alright, getting along that seam line where the paper and the chipboard meet. Really want to glue that good. Because we tapered those edges, those corners should be really nice when we fold them over. Alright, we're going on our last side now. Again, get that seam between the chipboard. When I mean seam, I mean this right here. We're almost done this cover. Well, at least the construction. The rest is now like decorating it. Alright, going in against those seams again. We always want to hit them. Make sure not only are they glued well, but that we have a good bend in them. Okay, guys. This is what it should look like if you... if I'm a good teacher. What we have here is those two pieces in our spine that we've covered. We have the gap, which has our curve, and our flap. And now because we just glued this up, right? Let's maneuver with our curve a little bit, because now that this part is overlapped, see that? This came up. So just want to make sure our score lines are good here, so we have that good curve. Which means just manipulating it. I'm not bending it, I'm kind of just curving it. Not bending it, just curving it. And if I need to go over some lines, I'll go over some lines. Okay, so then when I close this all up, this is what you should have. So if you did it right, see the curve? And when you look in, right, it should match. There's those corrugated, curved lines. Again, I did them by hand. So if you did them on a board, and even right now, I think what I want to do is come in here and just make sure that I'm got good curving lines. Because this curve is what makes the book. So that part, I think, is definitely... So I'm just coming in and rescoring the already lines just to make sure I have that good flip there. Okay, so that's the beginnings of the Trapper Keeper. I hope that wasn't too confusing. I really just kind of whimmed it in my head. And again, if you like, you can go to find Sandy Trefker on YouTube on her original video. She's way more technical than I am. So if you like measurements and you want to score and do all that before you put this together, and you want to measure exactly and do all, that's fine. I can't process like that. So what I've shown you is a really dumbed down version of what she did. The measurements are fine. Remember, if you just stay with the measurements of the paper and the chipboard that were given, you'll get this exact size, you know. And it keeps us within the parameter of a 12 by 12 papers, and I think that's what's accessible for most of us. So again, what you have here is what it'll become. It's upside down, I think. Yeah. It becomes this when you start covering it. So it looks basic here, right? And there's our curved edges. And then what we're going to do is work panel by panel. So each surface is a panel. Panel 1, panel 2, 3, 4, panel, 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 panel. We don't cover the curved edge. So the next step would be to start covering your panels. So each one I do something different, a different pattern. Oh, those matched. And then you can layer it. So like this is the yellow, and then on top of the yellow I did a pink and white stripe, and on top of that I did the printout sticker. So these here, if you were like into the Lisa Frankie type shimmery, this is a sticker, printable sticker sheet. It's like a holographic sticker sheet you put in your printer, and you print on this, and then you stick the sticker onto the book, which is this one I think is crooked. I hate doing this. Not my favorite style. This one I feel has like a little bubble right in here, right? I can't get it out. So these are really, really difficult for me to work with. You have to be really slow and really meticulous. That was not my style. And then, again, after we layer everything with paper, it gives extra stability. Every layer of cardboard that you put on, it becomes, I mean, this is for what it started as and where it's at is pretty amazing. And that's because we are layering it with cardstocks. And, you know, usually the cardstock you want to put on your first layer is a heavier cardstock. So do like an 80-pound, 100-pound, something like that. And then you can be real fun with whatever you want to add in for your accent pieces. Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop today, is at the construction of the actual book. We can pick it up the next time, or you don't even need me, because the next steps are really just cutting out and layering all of your panels with whatever you want. So this one is probably going to be another strawberry and shortcake thing, just because I had some papers. So, you know, for instance, you know, we can cut this down, and this could be one panel. It could be also the inside panel, and we'll just start decorating this with whatever you like. So I hope that wasn't too difficult to understand or to follow. I did my best. I'm going to show you the difference of this. You see how corrugated that is? I did that. I think these were every 16th inch. I don't even think this was right on this one. And I did that on the score machine, like plastic board that I bought. So you can see it's a little more defined on the scoring board. And this one I did not do on the scoring board. I did this one by hand. So a little less definition. Let's see that. So again, I don't think you need it. Just your preference, I think. There you go, guys. So yeah, we are on our way to another mini Trapper Keeper. I am obsessed. These are just the absolute cutest freaking things. So, hope that works. I hope you understood that. Hit me up if you didn't. Leave a comment if you have any question. Do a like, do a subscribe, do all those fun things. And I'll come back another day and we'll cover the books. We'll add some mechanisms. There are some tricks to that, due to the fact that these are thin. These mechanisms are going to need a little bit of a cushion in between the book and the spine in this, just to give it a little extra to hold that screw in. So that's not as easy as just poking a hole and popping it in. You're going to need a little extra oomph in between. So I'll show you how I did that. Same thing with this, is they're going to have to actually add a little extra something in between it to make it thick enough for these to stick into. So I'll show you how to do a hidden piece to hide that and make it work. We're going to cut the Velcro and put that on there. That's definitely going to be something that needs some time to set and cure. Otherwise, you're going to F it up like I did on my first one. And we're going to make some folders. And I'll show you how to laminate the folders. And I'm going to show you how to cut out the pockets so that that works. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me, folks. This is, again, Saturday morning fun time, craft time. And happy crafting. We'll see you in the next video.